Donald Trump has recently come out and blasted the Chicago Cubs owners, the Ricketts family, for being, quote, not properly run. The Donald, as we will put it, including the great sidebar image, I really like that picture, by the way, said this about the Ricketts family and the Chicago Cubs. I actually said they ought to focus on the Chicago Cubs and, stop playing around. They spent millions of dollars fighting me in Florida. I'll start spending on them. I'll start taking ads telling them what a rotten job they're doing with the Cubbies. I mean, they are spending on me. So I am allowed to say that, question mark. Continued to say, at least some context as to why the Ricketts family is spending against him. I actually said, Trump's initial Twitter post apparently was in response to a story noting that Ricketts, the family matriarch who lives in Nebraska, had put $3 million into the Our Principles Political Action Committee in January. The package spent about $3.5 million in ads, mailings, and other efforts to oppose Trump, federal records showed in February. Political belief and political biases aside, Trump does these bully-esque tactics, right? And we've seen it. We've seen it in the interviews. We've seen it in the debates, whether you're following along or not. And what I find so ridiculous about this in general is, why? I get that the family spent some money against you, but there's a lot of people who have spent money against you, and those people have ties to their sports teams. Don't attack the Cubbies. They haven't won a World Series in 100 years. They've had enough pain as it is, and just to at least combat the quick point that they need to focus on the Cubs, I think they did make the NLCS last year, the National League Championship Series, and they're one of the best teams this year, so they're doing better. Don't attack the Cubbies.
It's Donald Trump, man. It's like, don't attack who? There's no one that's safe from his attacks. It's like, I feel like he's been obviously strongly advised, and I feel like it just plays into his almost argumentative personality. Anyway, he's been advised, like, let's pick a fight with these guys. Let's pick a fight with these guys so that we can allow for our almost ape-like following to jump on board with everything that you see. That's what it is. It's kind of, it's just like, no, they're like, if you see something that you do, you're kind of like, in that one rally where the two kids went in with the pictures, or the posters that said America's already great, and one guy picked at it and they were like, oh, and then they all started acting in a certain way. It's almost it's insane to see how these fallen they thrive off of his ability to pick fights and argue. And he's not just pissing off. Obviously, I don't want to take this across to politics, but again, as insensitive comes with the tragedies yesterday. He's like, I knew it. Brussels is a hellhole, he called it, and that's what it was. And then with Paris, picks fights there, picking fights in Britain, picking fights with Scottish people, basically by stating that if Scotland, well, he stated that if Scotland or the UK was to ban him from ever visiting, he would take away his plans for the golf and leisure centre that he's building in a certain area of Scotland, which people fought against, and then he ended up winning. So again, he's just not a nice guy. Down to his core, man. It's just a bad person.
Again, look, I just found, first of all, the second I saw this headline, I wanted to do it, mostly because I don't need to give him more attention that he already has. But I watched last week tonight. John Oliver did a whole piece about how he sends out blank threats like these. But again, first of all, I would love to see the attack ad on the Cubs. Just is it a compilation of all their errors, causing games to for games to be lost? Is it like Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor, throwback names, having their arms get blown out for being overpitched, two of the best pitchers that came up in a prospect era for the Cubbies, and then eventually they just injuries took their toll, and the Cubs looked really good, and then they went back into shambles, and now they got Joe Madden, who's an awesome manager and actually had a great piece. Sorry to take this into really crazy baseball talk. His advice for fashion said, if you love it and you look good in it, wear it. To the teams and to the players in the clubhouse.
I like that.
All right, so real quick, lastly on the Ricketts family, Marlene Ricketts is married to Joe Ricketts, the billionaire TD Ameritrade founder. In October 2009, the couple formed trust on behalf of their family that acquired a 95% controlling interest in the Cubs and Wrigley Field. Both of them are conservatives. And the son, Pete, is the governor of Nebraska. This guy likely could be, don't know, following at least 538's polls, it says that Trump is likely to get that nomination. Why are you fighting Trump? Why are you guys fighting each other? Come on, it's the Cubs. Look, the point of this, leave the Cubs alone. Attack the White Sox.
They've even got a cute name.
The Cubbies.
The Cubbies.
That they're the Cubs, and the football team is the
Bears. It's just a cute family.
They used to have little Cubs as a mascot, but I think it attacked one of the trainers once. They stopped doing that.
Jesus.
The Bears do not have an actual bear on the field.
That would be awesome.
Be kind of sick, though. All right, so that's our show. We've had 3 great stories for you today, and of course, 3 more great ones coming next week. Make sure to comment below with all your thoughts on what you saw in today's show. Follow us on Twitter at TYT Sports and on Facebook, facebook.com/TYT Sports. If you want to do the personal stuff, at Francis_Maxwell on Twitter and Instagram, and at JasonRubin91 on the Twitter and the Instagram. And I think I already mentioned it, but once again, give us a follow, give us a like, and we'll see you next time.